Hi everyone, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us on our live stream. And if you're watching it later, thank you for watching our stream. Thank you.
And yet again, he does it.
Well, I can't mute it until after it starts. That's why I kept going back and forth. But anyway, today we are going to talk about different streams of revenue that can be made on different businesses outside of, basically the standard what you think the business does. Our businesses, we have rent houses and motel. Hey Nigor, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by.
And we're going to go a little bit more in depth than the video we did the other day about our different streams of revenue that you can have with a motel or even an Airbnb.
Yeah, it actually just got uploaded today because there was a tornado.
Hi, Flat Earth Forums.
Hey, Flat Earth Forums. There was a tornado in the area, and last night when I tried to upload it, we had no internet. And so we didn't have internet for like 14 hours. And so our Monday night plan of getting it uploaded went right out the window.
Failed. Yeah.
But yeah, and so what it is basically is it just kind of goes through the different some of the different revenue streams that's a motel, that's with a motel or like an Airbnb that is more than just renting the room out. Sometimes you think that might be all that happens.
And it's stuff that can range from free to highly expensive.
Yeah, and in some places, that is all that happens. They get paid and hand the person a key, and then that's it. And then they do it again the next night, or do it with the other rooms or whatever. And that's as far as it goes. They have literally one. Hi, A Patch of Heaven Farm. Thanks for coming by. They literally have one, all their eggs in one basket, basically. That's rough. I'll be in the background, folks. Glad I caught y'all live for a change. Yeah, we're glad you caught us too, Needgore. Hey, Grant McIntosh. We are doing good. We are talking about the different streams of revenue that can be brought in at different businesses, and how, basically there's so many unconventional ways to bring in a little bit more money, which is kind of our hustling mindset.
And we're going to be talking about some of what we do and...
Yeah, and so we have some rent houses and we have a motel. We have actually, we're split owners of another motel that me and my sister have. And then me and my wife, Sarah, have the one that we run and live at. And, a lot of people just think that you're just paying the person and they're giving you a key, and that's the only way they make money. But
hey, Destin.
We are here to just kind of go over some extra things and go over some and talk about things with everyone else's business. Gotta have money to make money, it seems like nowadays.
Our curtain rod just fell.
That was the sound of our curtain rod literally falling right next to us. That was crazy. Yeah, Grant, it is it's true, and there's so many things that it takes money to make money, but
and sometimes you can get away without any money to make money.
Yep, you can. Sometimes you can, but we're also going to discuss anybody else that might have any businesses and what they do, and maybe try to help out, give them some ideas of other ways to generate some extra revenue. Basically, kind of what we was discussing is, with our business in particular, we have, basically most motels will rent the rooms, and that might be it. Some of them might have vending machines. Rather that's for snacks or for laundry. And, and then it kind of might be limited at that. And, and so.
And those could be an expensive option or they could be a cheap option. There's plenty of people that rent out those coin laundry and the vending, and sometimes it just works out better for a smaller property to rent them out and split the profits.
And so, some of these places that have, some of these places, like small places, they might only need like one washer and one dryer. And sometimes it might just not make sense to want to make that big purchase on those, especially those coin-op ones. They're kind of expensive to get the mechanism put on them. And there's companies that will literally, they'll come out and put them out for free, and then they'll just split the profits with you. And that's fine, I mean, because like, especially for a motel, it's, even if we break even, it's an extra amenity that we can offer our guests. And that's something that people are looking for, especially, people that are doing jobs and working in the area and maybe staying by the week. It kind of makes it a pain.
Also depends on what area you're in, too. I know neither of our little towns, well, one of the towns that the motel in Oklahoma is in, I think the laundromat is only open on weekends, so they don't have to drive 30 minutes to go do their laundry.
Hi, John Kyle Stanton. Thanks for coming by. But yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, it can definitely be an inconvenience for someone that doesn't have for a place that doesn't have them. And something would be definitely a good idea if you if you had a few units and was able to offer it. On top of that, if you are one that might have an Airbnb or do that sort of thing, it's definitely an added amenity that you don't even have to get coin-op stuff. It can
You
literally
can offer a laundry service and partner with a local dry cleaner, and have them do it, and it can be same day. Clean clothes is a must. Most definitely.
Absolutely. And basically, the local dry cleaner, they'll just come by and grab the little sacks that have the dry cleaning in it and take it, and you don't even have to lift a finger really. You just got to have it there at the office for them, and then they'll bring it back and when it's done later in the afternoon or the next day or however it works, and have it there. But as in regards to like an Airbnb, you can literally just have your own washer and dryer in there. It doesn't have to be coin-op. It can be an added amenity that's the place next door that's on Airbnb might not have, and you can charge $4 or $5 more a night, or 10 or 15 or whatever.
Extra added amenities will always drive your rates higher.
Yeah, and there's so many things like that you can't actually just sit there and charge for, but it'll definitely make it to where you can rent your place out for more. And one's like a swimming pool, especially if you're in like a tropical climate, to where it's kind of a commodity, or if you're not, there's
a continental breakfast is one. Breakfast is a huge thing. We're always excited about it, but we never get up in time.
No, we don't. We're those type that call down the night before we check out and are like, "Can we get a 1 o'clock checkout, please?" And an hour and a half past that and see what they say. And usually what I'll do if I'm staying like at any hotel of everything now, but and then I'll call down and be like, "Yeah, I'm a Wyndham's Reward member. I was wondering if I could have a 1 o'clock checkout." And so I kind of play it that way.
Last A strange.
What'd you do, John? Did you have coins for the dryer? Did you just wash? But yeah, and well, that's kind of the gist of them. The swimming pool and the continental breakfast. Some of the things that you just can't really charge for. You normally wouldn't.
And some motels in like higher, what is it? more well-traveled areas like Miami and Orlando, sometimes they have coupon packages, like especially the ones by the beach. They'll have like when you check in, there'll be like a free drink at the bar on the beach, and 2 free chairs and an umbrella on the beach, and different things like that.
Yeah.
And so that is definitely something that can help drive your rates a little bit higher, and it also offers other amenities to guests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be cool. Like if you could be setting it like, say if you have a motel or even a condo or something that you rent that's on the beach or something. You can sit here and be like, okay, I'm renting it for $150 a night, but I also have a nice beach chair and 2 nice beach chairs and an umbrella down there, and we could do $160, for the night if you want to do that, and it's, I mean, we would totally do that, I mean, it's something that it would definitely help drive the rates, and it's something that's pretty simple. That you wouldn't otherwise really think about.
Another easy thing to get revenue just off of your rooms without adding any extra amenities is to just send out an email offer after somebody books and offer them a discounted rate on the night before or night after if they extend their stay, and that's an extra way to help drive revenue in a case like that, whether it's an Airbnb or a motel. Or even, this one's mainly for an Airbnb, but offer early or late check-in and check-outs, and you can charge accordingly for that. Not so much for a motel because of maid services, but...
Yeah. We don't really... We actually have a 2 p.m. checkout at our motel because we're kind of in a hunting and fishing area, and we want them to be able to hunt and fish and be able to come back and take a shower before they have to check out if they choose to, and it's just kind of part of our atypical lifestyle. We are just kind of we are night owls. I mean, we stay up late and sleep late, and so that's what we would prefer, and so that's kind of the direction we decided to go with it. But
another thing that you can do is, if you're in a real touristy area, you can galleries, even in an Airbnb, whether they do pottery or wall art or whatever type of art they do, you can probably put it in there for free most times and just have a little tidbit on a bulletin board or something about the art. And because most people want to go home with some souvenir of some kind, and that's a neat thing to be able to offer, some local art from the area. And it's also free decorations for your room that you could probably get changed out on a regular basis.
Yeah. It's definitely something that, I mean, it's definitely an idea. It might not work out perfect as far as working out a deal with the local artists or gallery or whatever it might be, but it's certainly an idea, and it might be a direction to go. It's extra exposure for them, so it's kind of it's a win-win. It's an extra exposure. Might be able to get a sale out of it, and you can maybe you work it out to where they'll kick you a commission on that, and at the very least, even if not, it's free. It could be free wall art for sure.
Yeah. Especially if they are wanting to rotate it out. That would be nice to have a fresh look to your motel rooms every couple of months or something like that. It'd be nice to keep things looking
and they will.
And
they'll want to rotate it out, for sure. But another thing that's kind of a neat idea is basically putting. Sometimes you'll have like a TV in your common areas or in your lobby. You could kind of throw an extra one in the corner or in a good spot that you can have.
Real estate is a better investment than nearly anything else. Yes.
Well, we second that. Flat Earth forums. That's kind of the direction we go. Hi, Eileen. How are you? But you could put basically a TV in the corner and have it rotating through a slideshow of local advertisements, local businesses, and and then you could obviously charge for the advertisement. Depending on obviously where you're at and what's going on and the economy and everything.
Yeah.
It depends on what you could get out of it, but it's certainly a money
On
idea.
motels, you could sell the space on the key cards, and that'll be that company's advertisement, and that'll get you free key cards. And then there's just
Because those key cards are expensive. They kind of
like 40 cents a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're expensive. So think twice next time you steal one.
I've been helping out for about 3 years now.
John, my parents
Little over 3 years.
bought a motel when I was 12, and I'm 29 now, and I have been around it my entire life. I started running my parents about 3.5 years ago.
That's when I came around.
And that's when, and that's how I met Sarah. That's kind of how long I've been going at it. My parents both got sick. They both became terminally ill, and I needed to help take care of them and run the motel, and so it was certainly a full-time job, and then they both passed away there shortly after.
You started real estate 6 years ago?
Yeah, and so the 2013 is when I started my real estate investing business, and I started wholesaling houses and have rentals and just doing those sort of things.
I started like a couple weeks earlier too with a cleaning business.
Yeah.
We both started the same year, pretty much same month on businesses.
On our businesses, yeah. Yeah, it's neat kind of growing up around it. My parents' place that they had, it's just a small motel. There's about 15 units, and so it's one of those. It's kind of a stressful number, honestly, because we did everything ourselves. Thank goodness I had Sarah to help me. She cleaned, and my parents always done it by themselves, and it's just that number that's like it's too many. It's too many to really. It's too many to do by yourself, but it's just not quite enough rooms. It doesn't seem like to hire, to have employees, and so, it's something that we always kind of did on our own. But certainly interesting business. We really enjoy meeting the people that come in and hoping that we get them next time. A lot of times, we're creatures of habit. We might go to the same deal every year, whatever it might be, and we're hoping to get to see them again. And but yeah, sorry about your parents. Yeah, it was a crazy situation. My dad had ALS and my mom had cancer, and they passed away 3 days apart in the summer of 2017. And shortly before they passed away, me and Sarah had bought this other motel. That one's in Oklahoma, and we had bought our motel in Kansas, and we had just bought it like
2 weeks.
like weeks before my parents passed away. And if we would have knew that they was going to go when they did, it certainly wouldn't have been. We probably wouldn't have got it. But that's just the way the chips fell, though, and so we've been trying to make the best of it. And my sister is now running my parents' motel, and so she's taking care of that and handling that all right. And we are working on our own.
Yeah.
But, as far as the other revenue streams with the motel,
Networking.
Yes.
Networking. You always want to reach out to local businesses. You want to try and work out a deal with them, work out packages, work out a promo code or referral pay, or pretty much you scratch their back, they scratch your back. You want to try and work something out with, and find local experiences too. Like, we're known for hunting and fishing around here. Find somebody that has land where they sit here and do hunting tour, or not hunting tours. Oh my goodness, what would it be
Hunting
called?
expeditions.
Hunting expeditions.
I guess.
That's a good word for it.
But yeah, and there's so many things. It really just depends where you're at. You might live, you might have a place, or it doesn't even have to be a motel. I mean, it literally, almost everything we're saying here will go along with like an Airbnb or a home away, listing. But you could certainly make a package deal with, if you're near the Grand Canyon, maybe a Grand Canyon, tour or something like that. Yeah.
And stuff like that.
And, whatever. I mean, there's so many different things that we could do. I mean, we live in the town we live in is the catfish capital of Kansas. And so we are on the Neosho River, and like literally the river's like 600 foot away from where we're sitting right now, and they are pulling catfish out. I mean, it's insane the size of catfish they pull out. And so that's definitely a route that we
would go with it.
And so it just really depends where you're at and what all you have going on around you. But it's definitely an option.
And we're part of our local chamber of commerce too, and so that's important. Always a good idea. Is to even if it's just an Airbnb, try and join some sort of organization like that where you know what is going on. How close are you to Smallville? Oh wow.
I don't know.
No idea.
I've never heard of that, but we will look it up.
Googling right now.
But yeah, I mean, it's the local chamber. They obviously it's all the businesses in town, and you really like she said, you scratch theirs, they'll scratch yours.
Oh, okay. Like, I was sitting there, I
thought that may have been what you were referencing, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I was like, I thought it was, what is that? Supernatural, for some reason. I thought it was off of Supernatural. And it's definitely not. It is definitely Superman. But there's all sorts. You want to get in with a good organization around you, so that way different events going on, and so you could try and market for these events or know your busy times. Yeah. So that way your busy times, know whether or not or if you should plan a vacation at that time or not.
Yeah, I mean, some places, like, it's seasonal. Some places are 100% seasonal. If you got a place in the mountains that is impassable for 2 months out of the year because of snow, then that might be a good time to be at your beach house, and not be trying to operate a business,
Or traveling.
Yeah, or traveling. Whatever. It's and winterize that puppy and get out of there, because you'll save money closing the door rather than trying to keep it open.
There's like Branson, Missouri. That's a really good example of a place where.
Yeah, it's a regional place that's close to us. That it's just seasonal. Most places there, they close down right after the new year, and they're down usually until about March, And and then there's the places that go Memorial Day to Labor Day, and so it's just whatever seems to work out on paper the best, or or it doesn't even have to, just it might be your time away. And that's what you want to do.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah,
Have a wonderful evening.
Bye, John. Good night.
And it could even be as simple as, if you have an Airbnb, supplying a list of promo codes for like Uber Eats, Airbnb Partners, Lyft, Grubhub, different things like that, to offer your guest a discount and a better experience because you don't have some sort of food service or some sort of continental breakfast or anything like that. You also can even offer like a fridge stocking service, a mini bar, like all sorts of different things like that to help out the guest in that situation. Even for a hotel, you can offer a fridge stocking service and work with a local supermarket on it, and it's a 10% upcharge if it's done or something along those lines.
Does anyone in the stream have their own business or something along those lines? We would like to hear.
I'm going through this. Trying to read what all we have.
But basically, whatever it could be, there's just so many options available. With driving your revenue. I'm just trying to think of
whether it be corporate clients or weddings or trainings for certain companies, or working with a flower shop to have special packages put in your room. If somebody's staying for their honeymoon and they want a honeymoon package and they get roses and chocolates and a bottle of champagne, like, you can set up however you want it. And there's so many different extras that you can offer with little to no extra overhead cost on it. Like, if you're offering a laundry service and you don't have the equipment, just work with a dry cleaner. If you want to offer the honeymoon packages or the anniversary packages, work with a florist, have a 10% upcharge on it. And then same with vending machines and laundry. There's so many things to where you can outsource and help somebody in your town help another business out, and it helps your business as well. And so good networking is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing that we do, for example, is we sell things in our rooms. Outside of just the art, we sell. We have pillows. We have my pillows in the rooms because we think they're amazing, and so we thought that would be fantastic to be a great experience.
Lifetime warranty on them too.
Yeah, and so that's what we decided. That's the route we decided to go in our motel rooms, and so we have them for sale. We have them for sale at the office as well.
And the little mini travel ones as well too.
And so we get, when we buy them in bulk, so we get a decent deal on it, and then we price it at about the price that they're sold online, or maybe a little bit cheaper, and are still able to make a little bit of money on each of them.
We also, our decorations are all from a local place here in town, and we are just trying to send business their way.
Yeah.
And we are partnering with one of the restaurants here in town. They offer to deliver to our guests, and we don't have room for a continental breakfast or anything like that, and they serve breakfast, and so it'll be a huge thing for us to say you can have something delivered straight to your room, especially in this small of a town.
Mm-hmm.
This small of a town, and so we've found a lot of good contacts and a lot of good people to work with here in town with different things.
Yep. And if you have any ideas for us or for anybody that might have an Airbnb, make sure you drop it in the comments if you're watching later. And if you're watching now, also, you can drop it in the comments. But, definitely something to network about, to be able to talk about, to grow all of our businesses. We want
everybody to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I haven't encountered very many businesses. I know that there's some ruthless businesses that, you don't want the person doing the same thing that you do to succeed. But, nothing we have. It works just fine with us, it doesn't really affect us, other businesses and stuff. And even if it's the same thing, our other place in Oklahoma, they built a 100-room hotel right half a mile from us, and it's the only two places in town, but it didn't really affect us at all.
In a town of 2,500.
Yeah.
Over 100 rooms, and it didn't affect us at all.
Yeah, the good thing is our rooms are rented for $45 a night, and their rooms are rented for somewhere around 119, last I heard. And so it's kind of a different clientele, but it doesn't really seem to affect us. And the thing is, even with them, you get on the phone with them and be like, hey.
Hi, Jelly Duck.
Hey, Jelly Duck 100. Last night, we uploaded a video, Jelly Duck 100, and it was the video that we re-released today. And when we uploaded it...
Is that who commented on it?
Yes, that's who commented on it. Mm-hmm. When we uploaded it, we had we ended up losing our internet. Well,
I'm sitting there making faces at Derek in the background, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you uploaded
Basically,
that.
what had happened was while we were trying to upload the edited one, the old one was on there, but the pre-edited old one was on there, and that's what I ended up editing the name of it and put the thumbnail on, and so that's the one that you caught, and it was the totally unedited version. And so you had commented on it, and I was like, I realized after I saw that there was 4 views, I had pulled it up for something. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that. And so I hurried and changed it to private. But
I was well, they can tell my personality there.
I was like, no wonder his comment didn't make any sense. But yeah, it was funny. But
he couldn't stop laughing because he didn't even know I was sitting there making faces in the background at him. And I'm like, how dare you leave that? I did that as something for you to laugh at while you were editing.
And what's funny is when I edited it, I didn't even notice it because I just skipped all the way past it all and cut it all at the beginning out, which is where she was doing that. But it was pretty funny. Hey, what was we talking about?
Streams of income, different places.
Oh, I remember. I was talking about the other hotel in town. How you can basically call them up. I mean, literally, you can work hand in hand with them to help improve your business. You can call them up and say, "Hey, what kind of rates you got going on tonight, and what's your occupancy?" And and if you have only 20% of your rooms rented, and they have 20% of their rooms rented, then that means you're probably not failing as much as you think you might be, because that's just what's going on. That's just kind of the economy right that night or whatever is happening.
The small hotels are a lot more defensive and mean.
Yeah.
we try and really work with people, and if we're full, we'll call the place in the next little town next to us, and they won't tell us a rate. All they'll tell us is if they have an occupants or if they have a vacancy or not. And it's so frustrating. I'm like, I want to be able to let them know this rate, and I promise I'm sending you somebody, or else I wouldn't be calling you right now.
It's dumb, I mean, it's not that hard to find out a rate if you really wanted to. And and you know, and so you pretty much know what all the places rent their rooms for, and it doesn't really matter, you know,
Yeah.
that much. But yeah, it's if you know, to work a little smarter, in our opinion, is to work with the other businesses.
Yeah.
You know, you can really see where you're at, and what, you know, how bad you really are failing, if you're failing, by looking at what they have going on. You know, they if you have another place that's right next door to yours that's the exact same. I mean, you're looking at two very comparable
If they have 100%
hotels,
occupancy
you know.
and you have 15% occupancy, you know you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, you know, and if it's, you know, if you have the Holiday Inn and it's the Hampton Inn right next door, they're, in my opinion, they're pretty equivalent. You know, they have their pros and cons to eat, both of them, but they're pretty equivalent in my opinion. And you know, and if one of them, if they're renting, their average daily rate is $100 a night, and you know, and has this occupancy, and yours is $75 a night and has this occupancy, then you might need to change some things up and figure out what's wrong. You know, maybe it's your rooms aren't clean or whatever it could be. But it's definitely, it's definitely nice to be able to work hand in hand with your competition to see where you
Both
stand.
improve your business.
Yeah, it helps both. You know, it certainly helps both. But you know, we've definitely encountered the ones that don't want to
work with us.
Yeah, that doesn't want to be a part of it, and that's fine. But you know, we certainly think it's a good idea, and you know, and I'm sure a lot of other businesses are like that, that you can sit there and you know, and network with them to, you know, at least gauge how business is going, to see, you know, if you feel like something with yours is going wrong.
And if you get a call and somebody needs a place with a kitchen and that other place has kitchens, you want to be able to make the customer happy and refer them to somewhere that has what they need. And then that'll be stuck in their mind of your place had good customer service. And so that's another thing, that just good customer service, that
Mm-hmm.
it helps out a lot. And that's, if you're working with other places, you can give better customer service because you'll know what's going on, and if they offer an amenity that this person has to have that you don't, and it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Makes more sense. But a couple other ways of getting some income for people that like live in a city that have a motel or a apartment complex or something along those lines is to sell advertising space on the side of it or on a billboard on it. Or you can even rent out your rooftop for cell towers.
Yeah.
And so those
especially
are,
if you have a high rise. All of you that have a high rise hotel
or
in
apartment,
a huge
or
city.
on the rooftop of anything.
And you can also lease out, you know, charge for parking. Or it doesn't even, and that doesn't even have to be in a big area. You know, it just depends on where it's at. You know, if your motel's across the street from the baseball stadium,
Charge for parking.
I mean, that you might make more money on parking than you do on renting your rooms. You know, it's definitely something that could be done. You know,
82 home games a year?
I mean, if it's baseball, if it's professional baseball, it's 81 games in a year that you might be pulling parking, plus any other events that might be occurring at that stadium. But you know, it's always a possibility to, you know, to be able to drive the income up. That's what we want to do. It's what life's about.
Making money and having successful businesses.
Living the American dream.
Who on here deals with marketing? Like any type of marketing for your business?
If you do, please leave us a comment.
let us know.
We would be thrilled to get back with you and network with you a little bit and see what your business is and what you have going on.
And what's your favorite form of marketing too? Like, do you use Facebook? Do you use strictly Google AdWords? Do you just totally throw out social media altogether? Like, what's your strategy for your business? What's your number one go-to for your business?
What would ours be?
We usually use Google.
Yeah, Google AdWords is huge. We have, obviously, as we've. Hi, Muscle Man 8562. Hello, family, he says. How are you? We obviously have the real estate and investing business, and it's called Okie Home Buyer, and we buy houses, anywhere across the country. So anyone that has one for sale,
we're just Okies that buy houses.
Yep. Anyways, we kind of get to where we're marketing in certain areas. I'm doing pretty good. How are you? We are fantastic. We are discussing different revenue streams that are maybe kind of unconventional for your business that you can push to get some extra money, and with the topic mainly is our motels, and how it's more than just letting someone give you some money and you hand them a key and renting the room out. And it's kind of what we've been discussing is some of the different ideas.
And it applies to Airbnbs.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of stuff we discuss, applies to if you have a place leased out on Airbnb or a home away sort of a thing. Do you have any a business, Muscle Man? Let us know if you do and what you have going on.
We're also talking about marketing right at this moment, and what's your favorite form of marketing, whether it's social media or Google, or what form of marketing you do, or flyers or phone book.
Yeah, and so we was talking about one of the things we use is Google AdWords, and how if we're trying, especially if we're trying to pinpoint a certain area, maybe we're looking for a property in Oklahoma City, we will target that area and target possibly a specific crowd maybe. I mean, they can
age range.
You can target anything. But it's something that we certainly do, and it's something it's kind of complicated, but we've kind of got used to it and learned it. But we would sit there and mess with it and basically what we were doing on Google AdWords is we was in essence we were paying for our leads. And we would have forms that would fill out that, like, if you have a house for sale, and so you fill out all this information. Well, whenever something like the most we paid, the higher we would be up.
Yeah.
And we would rarely would be not one of the first 3 ads at the top of the Google first page, and so we always like to try to stick up there. And so basically, depending on how much you pay is how many leads we could possibly be getting. Yeah. And so we were basically paying for our leads, and for a while there we was actually just we was kind of kicking them to someone else that was kind of working the leads for a time there, and then we was getting a commission on those, and so just trying to
because real estate's a community too.
Yep.
You have to network with other people, whether you're a real estate agent or you are just an investor, or if you are a fixer-upper. Yep. You like flipping houses.
Yeah, if you don't have a little network or or a little community.
You have to have a list of people. If you don't want this property, you should have a list of, okay, this person, and this person are in this area. Let me send this property to them and at least try and get a $500 commission off of it.
Yeah.
And so you should be able to, my wife got with me because I was a fixer-upper.
All right, Snack King Cole. How are you doing, by the way? Thanks for coming in. But yeah, there's so many different people in that community. I mean, you might have one person that specifically buys houses, on this particular street or something like that, and that's specifically what they look for. And so you're like, okay, this happens to be there. Let's give them a call, and wholesale it to them, or whatever, however it needs to happen. But another thing we did with the real estate investing business, as far as the advertising, was on the bandit signs, those annoying signs that we've all seen on the corners that says we buy houses. That was us. That's us, and so we just. Usually we'd put them out over the weekends, or we would hire someone to throw them out on Fridays after 5 p.m. and then we'd have them pick them up before Monday morning, because depending on where it's at, the city workers will
go around in the morning.
They'll wipe them out. Yeah. Great, man. I don't ever complain. A handful of people didn't even wake up this morning. That is a fact. Yeah. That's good. That is a winning attitude to have.
Most definitely. But we are focusing on the motel right now compared to our real estate, just to get it up and going. We are wanting to implement a bunch of new stuff with this motel, and we wanted to flip it pretty much compared to what it was. It was pretty much being used as an apartment complex before, and it was trouble for the town, and of 1,500 people, if that.
Yeah.
It's the difference between a motel and a hotel. Usually a motel is a single story with the doors opening outward, and a hotel, usually the doors open into a hallway.
And it's really, there's several different definitions of the difference.
They're all gone. Our child just ate a whole cucumber.
Here, sorry for the interruption. Would you like to say hi? Here, let's let you say hi. Come here.
Hi. Oh, now you say it.
So say hi and wave. Are you gonna wave?
I used to sell roofs, siding, and windows. Then I was buying and selling online.
Are you sticking your tongue out at them? All right.
You can go back in there and watch a movie now. She's like, I'm not forgetting my remote. But
yeah, there's really several different, it depends how you look at it. The difference between a hotel and a motel can also be the way you market it, or your amenities.
Yeah.
Because there's certainly
you could have 100 rooms and it be a single story. They all open to the outside, but you have breakfast and pools, and you're right next to Disney World, and that's a hotel. Not a motel. And so it's just, like he said, how you market it and your amenities.
Let's see. I used to sell roofs, siding, and windows. Then I was buying and selling online. Yep. The hustle. That's it. That's the hustle. Yeah, and Muscle Man 8562, Snack King Cole is a excellent channel to follow. He got some pretty good content and reviews, and so We definitely like checking out his stuff when we can.
Most definitely. But does anybody else have any businesses or want to talk about how they market their businesses?
What all do you do, Snack King Cole, at the Ramada? Do you do any kind of marketing for the hotel? But let's see, what else do we kind of got going?
Front desk.
Front desk. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like the Backwoods Babes cleaning, the cleaning business that I have. Keep pretty low profile here. We don't blame you. Like, it was a different way of marketing. Like, you can't just put your name out on the internet and expect people to find you, because I did oil field cleaning. Like, I went and cleaned the trailer houses, mobile homes, the camper trailers and stuff like that on the oil field rigs, or anything that has to go with oil, like from the drilling to the fracking, just everything. Any of those houses that they were staying in is what I cleaned, or a couple of the girls who worked for me cleaned. And you literally have to go out there, talk to the company man, talk to the company, get in with the companies that are providing the trailers. Like, it is one of those to where it is all in-person marketing. Like, Facebook does absolutely nothing for you in that area. Absolutely nothing. And so that was a big thing, because you have to hunt down your work. It's 100% in person, and same thing with apartment complexes and property management companies. You have to go in there. They give you a trial. They let you quote it, and then you clean it. And that's your trial period if they need somebody. And then you go from there. And it's all like, it's not steady for the most part. It is just on a as needed basis. And so it's a huge difference compared to other businesses. And literally t-shirts, business cards, flyers, pricing lists, that's your friend to be able to take in there to those companies. But any sort of online marketing, it doesn't help. It's not like they are in huge need of these people. You go in and you quote, and if they're like, well, I'm only paying this much to this person, you have to try and underquote it. Yeah. It is sales. It is definitely sales.
And one thing that kind of helps that business, or that, as far as getting the business, is going out to those oil rigs and throwing a bandit sign on the ground that says cleaning, trailer cleaning, however much a trailer, whatever, call.
Yeah,
and then they can see, then they can see that, what kind of you have going on, and then maybe they'll give you a call, and get you the business. And we used to do the same thing with the motel, to put
bandit signs out by the rigs
to get people in the rooms. If things weren't going too hot, throw a sign out there that says $45 a night, or at whatever it is a weekly rate, to try to get those guys in there. Because a lot of guys, they live in these trailers, and sometimes they put up to a dozen people in one bunkhouse. And these guys want their own privacy, and some of them make enough money. Most of them make enough money to be able to pay for their own place, and so that's what they'll do. They'll go that route instead of staying in a bunkhouse, and and I probably would too.
And that's something else. We had a rent house in that area. We have since sold it, but we were offering furnished options. We are like monthly options and short-term leases and stuff like that in that area. And that's a house that normally rented for $800. If you supply furniture and it's a monthly rental, it's $1,200. And people gladly pay that to have a whole house to themselves.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do what works. It's certainly
And what's for your area.
yeah. I mean, if it works, then go for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Because we couldn't have done that in any other town.
Mm-hmm.
Just that one town where, no ma'am, you're not having pudding. Our child's trying to sneak in some sweets right now by just seeing if we'll open them as we're on here. But what else do we do with the rat houses?
Sometimes we'll do paid Facebook advertisements on houses that we're renting out, or some, the ones that we're doing have up for a rent to own. We'll basically, I mean, hard, advertisement for a weekend or something like that. Spend $300 to $500. With the hopes of getting it, getting a candidate and getting it rented out within the week.
I don't think we've ever spent that much on one ad, though, have we?
Yeah.
We have.
Yeah. About I think maybe 300 is the most that we've spent.
Yeah.
And basically, what it was we did because what you can do with Facebook advertising is you can do it for like a huge amount where it's a huge reach in a short amount of time, and like literally you can budget yourself like $1,000 for a day, and only let it run for like 4 hours, and then it's driving hard advertising for those 4 hours, and then you kill it, and then you've only spent a couple $100 on it, and so
getting your people in there fast too.
Yeah.
Sorry about all the beeping. But
hi, Mrs. R5. Thank you for coming by. How are you doing tonight?
You have a business. How do you market your business? Is it solely on Facebook, YouTube? Do you use Google advertising? Is it word of mouth, business cards, email lists?
We've been waiting for someone like you to pop in.
Yeah. We are doing great.
We are doing fantastic. What we're talking about is different, basically the unconventional revenue streams for business, and we're discussing how motels, which is what we have, is more than just taking someone's money and throwing them in a room, and so sometimes that might be what some places do. That might be all they do is just rent the motel rooms and nothing else, and there's no other pennies coming in, and
how to have extra income with those with little to no money, and extra income with an Airbnb. And now we're talking about marketing and different businesses, and how what works for one may not work for another, and because definitely I don't know how much. I think with the real estate that we could do pretty much any type of marketing and it'll work out well. Like, I don't think that there's any type of marketing that we could do and it just totally be a waste of money.
Yeah.
That is one business where it's easy to get out there. It's easy to get a reach. There's always somebody somewhere that needs to move or is getting relocated for a job. Marketed through Facebook for my grooming, along with business cards, then eventually word of mouth became my marketing. I do not push my own business at all.
Okay.
I used to work at a dog groomer, so I envy the work that you do because I know how tough it can be. Yeah. I remember washing 50, 60 dogs in a day, and it is a lot of work. Hanging door hangers and using Facebook.
Okay.
But that's a good way to get local business is the door hangers. And
absolutely. Do you for lawn care? Do you guys do what? I'm just trying to think of other extra of other streams of income. Do you guys hang Christmas lights during the winter? Um,
So many anyway because I'm overbooked.
well, that's a good problem to have.
A good groomer is hard to find. It really is. We can't even find somebody that'll give our Siberian Husky a bath. Like, nobody around here will even consider it. Or in the town that we just moved from. Like, it's a pain. And now there's a Great Dane added on top of that, and she's fine to deal with. She's fine to give a bath. The Husky is not fine to give a bath at the house.
No.
And the cat's actually
she
easier
will
to
stop up the sewer in the entire town.
that, and she'll make the whole entire neighborhood think that we are murdering her with the outrageous noises that come out of that dog. But the cat's even better than she is. Like, the cat just glares at you and lets you know how much it hates you at that moment. That is pretty much. The cat is great. We've decided we're never getting another cat after this. Never. We got too lucky with this one, and we will never get another cat that is this good.
No. I always say cat's not horrible to have. After a long, hard, stressful day at work, don't want to accidentally be mean to the dog, so you have a cat.
Don't let him ruffle anybody's feathers. He's more of an animal lover than me, I think, sometimes. I'm used to outside cats. This is my first time ever having an inside cat. I've always had outside cats for, like, mice in the barn and stuff like that, but never an inside cat. So this is both of our first rodeo with a litter box and scratching posts and all that good stuff. And she does pretty good. And our fishing baits are our newest business, so still pushing it. YouTube is our main advertisement. We're getting business cards, finding local events to sign up for, and using Facebook.
Awesome.
Oh, what is it? Those events. We used to go to a lot of gun shows, and they have the hunting and fishing expos, and then they also have the survival.
Yeah,
the
they
survival
have
shows is another good place to look at.
like the prepper shows. God, there's so many different events. It's amazing how many awesome events there are for the outdoorsy type to be able to market their products. That's really neat. When you did your Facebook marketing for your grooming business, did you do paid marketing, or was it just all organic and just kind of pushed it that way?
We're a bit oversaturated.
Yeah, we are too. Yeah.
We're horrible.
Yeah, we're really trying to limit things and kind of pull back from some things. And
I pulled back from the cleaning. Cleaning business. It was still bringing in money without me having to go out and clean, but it was one of those things where I wanted to put a lot more time and effort into it, but all of my marketing for that had to be me spending 20 hours a week driving to these rigs, talking to the company men, talking to the managers of these other companies like Stallion and Trend and Tanmar, and then working out our pay schedules and contracts. And so it was time consuming, and it wasn't something that was able to be done online. She said all organic. My first post literally was a post to see what I got, and I got 80 responses the first day.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
What kind of, what size of town do you live in? Is there just a couple thousand people, or is it bigger than that? Or smaller?
Yep. And so that was the one that made the most sense to stop, because the amount of extra hours that had to be put into it because the real estate, we can put a little bit of time and money into organic or paid Facebook ads or Google ads and still track down leads and maybe spend an hour or a couple hours driving, meeting somebody face to face and making a deal, and or forwarding a deal and getting a commission. And so that one was an easy one to say, let's keep it.
Yeah,
it's a small town, but I travel.
It kind of worked, it kind of would work for itself, the real estate. Then we have a lot bigger following on it. We have a Facebook page with it that's, I'm not even sure, 4,000 or 5,000 followers on it, and so it's kind of the one that's a little more, it's been around the longest. Is basically what it boils down to. Is it's been around the longest. It's
going to eventually close up shop for grooming.
Yeah.
Well, I know that was. It doesn't seem like most people wouldn't think about it, but it is an extremely physically demanding job. It is. And you have to deal with smelling like wet dog a lot. And I don't like that smell. I love dogs. I love animals, pretty much of any type. But that is the one thing that I do not miss, is smelling like dog. Working on making our baits a bigger business. Hello, Meow TV.
Thank you for coming by, Meow TV. We really appreciate it. How are you doing tonight, or morning, or wherever you're at? Yeah, Mrs. R5, I really feel like that's the direction to go with businesses, is those kind of businesses that are like, that really, you buy some of your, some of your tools to make the things and your supplies, and send them out and let something like YouTube generate
and
you
can
business.
work from home. It's something where you can be there for your kids. You can work around it a little bit easier for your schedule versus working around somebody else's schedule for their dogs. Getting bit was never fun. And it's always the small dogs. I never got bit by a large dog. It was always the little chihuahuas or the mini pinchers or the stinking red poodles. Every single red poodle I gave a bath was so mean. The plus to grooming is my kids can be with me. That is nice. Definitely a plus. And that was a plus for me because I still had the cleaning business and I was still cleaning and making money right after I had my daughter. And that was a huge plus, was always having her with me. Is I could send a girl out to do a different job where I couldn't have her with me, but everything that I did, she was able to be there. And so that was a really big plus for me during that time. But just, we don't do babysitters really.
No. The last time that we didn't have our child was on our anniversary, which was the 7th of July. And so that's kind of how it goes. I think we kind of feel like we're due for a break.
Maybe once every 3 months she'll stay a night with Grandma.
Maybe.
Or me, Mama.
Yeah, 2 to 3 months usually is what it is. And, sometimes it kind of goes in streaks, but on average it's not very often.
Was that probably almost 9 months? Right? It was like 9 months that we went without a babysitter for a night.
Possibly.
It was a while. And so it's just, we don't trust too many people with their kids. Hubby works for law enforcement. We want to get to the point where we can just work for ourselves. Most definitely. And his is a emotionally demanding job as well, especially with everything that's going on in this world right now. And you always have to worry about his life being on the line too. And so that I can definitely understand wanting to work for yourselves in that situation too. But it's also rewarding. The kids are always with me, but my mom has taken them for a week at times, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than our honeymoon, I think it's never been more than 2 nights that we've been away from our daughter.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
High stress for him, high worry for you. Yep, that is. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Or I can't imagine. You know, I haven't had that. Haven't really. I've never had anyone in law enforcement in my family. You know, But gosh, what else?
Go back to business.
Yeah.
Back to business. I'm trying to think of fun things that she could do with the bait right now.
Mm-hmm.
The dog grooming, you could always offer color services. I would feel awful doing that to a poor dog, though. Dyeing a dog pink. Can always offer painting their nails as an extra service.
Yeah.
Or the cute little nail caps that they have.
She says no, thank
you. I would never dye a dog. I could only imagine shave our husky and make her look like a unicorn, and that would be awful.
Oh,
absolutely awful. Make her all glittery. She has a little diva personality. She could definitely pull that one off, but not my cup of tea either. I am really trying to rack my brain on like what we did. I know we always, where I worked at, the police officers that had canines, they always got free grooming. They would just bring them in. I'm well booked for dogs, actually. I've converted to nail service only. I get better pay eliminating haircuts. Yep. Haircuts are really time consuming, especially depending on the dog and bath situation, and it's rough. No worry about anal glands or anything else like that, any of the nasty parts. That's awful too. It probably works out better per hour, definitely only doing a nail service and not haircuts. Most definitely.
Do you have like a mobile grooming salon or whatever, or do you have a brick and mortar, or do you just?
I think she said she traveled for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a small town, but I travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do house calls?
I think we're too far for a house call. Don't even think about it. That is too far. But man, I'm trying to think of a fun one with the baits. Besides giveaways and fishing videos and demonstrations, I charge 10 per dog for nails. Grooming takes 2+ hours per dog. So on not tips, I make 20 or 40 in. I stop doing the nails and it takes me 15 minutes. Haircuts take me 2 hours. I make the same, yeah. Yep.
Yep, that's a good idea then. Because we work smarter, not harder. That's what life's about, Crystal. Yeah. That's what we got to do. We got to figure out what, and you're doing it, you got to figure out what is worth
it to you.
What's the best, what's the best thing. And right now, you're wanting to blow the baits out, out of the water and it's, I'm sure that it pencils out the best, then you're not worrying about gas and stuff like that, to go do the grooming things, because I'm sure it's tough, Yeah, it's $10 per dog for a nail, but you might have one that's 1 minute from your house, and then the next one might be 30 minutes from the house, and so I'm sure you probably have some kind of some kind of a system or upcharge for distance, but that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
More nails in the day on average day. Just cutting nails is 300 minutes after expenses.
Well, that's great.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah. She said I formulated a system. I bet it's one of those things where you have to do that, and like with our legal arms dealer one, we bought out a gun store because we do things like that. And we were selling strictly gun accessories at these shows, and it made more sense for us to go to a small town show and pay $10 a table versus going to the huge Wanamaker show in Tulsa and paying $80 a table. We made the same amount that weekend that we did every other weekend, and we didn't clear anything because of the expenses of the tables and everything else like that.
It was more than $80 a table.
It was, it was
$150.
Oh wait.
It was $150 a table. It was insane.
It was.
The amount of people, the exposure was insane. I mean, I can't believe the amount of people that walk by your table because it's just, it's so crowded. Of course, me and Sarah both had the flu during that, and so we
were both so mean. We both
miserable.
felt horrible.
It was
we were just
horrible, and we just did not have it in us to make sales.
I don't think they want the bait out of the water. More likely, they want the bait in the water. But we made more sales on it and more profit on a smaller show than we did on the bigger show, because the bigger shows are more saturated. They're like, oh well, I'll walk to the other end and there's a couple thousand tables there and see if I can find it cheaper, and more than likely they're not going to come back unless their car's on that side. The baits will get there. There needs to be where I'm making connections. That's awesome, Crystal. And so that really showed us it's not worth it to do the big shows. We could make $2,000 in a weekend selling the accessories, but we weren't making $2,000 at that big show.
Yeah.
Yeah, our expenses, we broke even. We broke even is what it was. Yeah. We've never lost money on it, but we broke even. And so we decided that we would just rather do the gun sales, especially compared to the accessories, because you can have thousands of accessories and one person walks in and you don't have anything that they need. And so we just haven't applied for that license yet because we're right on the border. Missouri's a couple minutes away, Oklahoma's 2 miles away, so it's 2 minutes away, and we live in Kansas, and so we don't quite, and then Arkansas is 20 minutes.
40 minutes.
It's 40 minutes?
Yeah, we're 40 minutes from Arkansas, 25 minutes from Missouri, and 2 minutes from Oklahoma.
Yeah. And so we're right here. I made money at your first one. Y'all was the only one that really made money at your first one.
Yeah, and the only reason we was able to is because obviously we were selling stuff.
Deal.
We were selling stuff so cheap. All the prices, I think we were selling everything for
50% off the retail is what we had.
Something, I can't remember.
Yeah.
30, I thought, I don't know.
Somewhere in there. We'd find the sign somewhere, I bet. But
we were selling stuff cheap.
Yeah. And so it was just one of those things. We really like it. We really enjoy it. We enjoy firearms and talking to people. But that's also something that takes up a lot of time. The setup, the takedown. 40 or 50. I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was 40 or 50. But
that's awesome, Mrs. R5. That you have 2 stores talking to you. That's pretty cool. Good luck with those. Are they like chains, or are they like local places? Either way, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because anytime you can expose, get extra exposure for your product, It's amazing.
We have two
absolutely.
bait shops here in town. Come check them out. One of them is pretty awesome, and it's right next to the river. Literally, its property butts up to the river.
Mm-hmm.
But so we just decided that we're going a totally different direction on that, and we are not 100% sure on what we're trying to figure out, what license, like how we need to go about our license, because we want to be able to sell to local places. We couldn't stop chains at this moment.
But that's the end goal, right?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Have your juice.
You can. But let's see. So what else we got going?
Motels, Lake Moore Lodge, Sawmill Inn.
Talked about real estate.
That's all of our businesses, I think, right now. We have a couple little side hustles, and our Poshmark store, and our our booth at the flea market, and what else do we have that's an extra stream of income?
I think that's about it.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
But the shows, the hunting shows, the gun shows, stuff like that is a lot of fun, Mrs. R5. But it does take up your weekends, most definitely. It's at least 3 days out of your week that you're setting up and selling and taking down, and it's a decent amount of work in itself. But you can turn it into a full-time job easy. There's tons of people that we met and got connected with, and like some of them just sold prepper stuff, some of them just sold certain types of shotgun cells, some of them was ammo only. Like everybody finds what works best for them. And so it's a busy life. I think we all have busy lives. We all stay pretty busy.
Yeah.
And then you guys have a couple channels, and we're trying to take on one channel, and we can't even do that.
Yeah, we are just trying to swing one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get too grumpy, and I don't like caramel, so I can't have a Snickers. So can't have a Snickers to make it better. I have to get sleep. I will be like, you can stay awake as long as you want, but I'm going to bed. But we do run sometimes on 2 to 4 hours of sleep at night. It's a common occurrence, especially because of how horrible our schedules are. And then our schedules get even wackier when we do that. It seems like.
Yeah, over the past 48 hours, we've basically slept probably 3 times, and each time we got about 4 to 5 hours of sleep, and it's just kind of been what we've been doing lately. Sometimes.
No, sometimes we only get 4 hours, but other than that, I am like, give me my sleep. I get mean. Man, I'm trying to think of, besides just the little stuff that we sell in here and our businesses, it feels like we have so much going on, and we do, but I feel like there's more. What am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something.
I think that's it. That is it.
Oh, I'm a notary.
Yeah.
That's what I'm forgetting. I'm a notary.
That's not. For those of you that are thinking about being a notary,
it's not something you can get rich
You will
on.
not get rich.
It is. Well, guys, I'm talking sleep, so I'm going to try and go to bed so I can get about 4 hours of sleep. Hello. We totally understand. Have a wonderful evening, R5. Hope you get some good sleep. Yeah, a 3-year-old. 3-year-old's a full-time job. Homeschooling her, a notary. I married Dustin and his wife.
Yeah.
But like there's a bunch of small things that I'm legally allowed to do. That's not technically a business. I got my notary because it was just something that helped out our real estate business greatly. Like it was just, it's nice not to have to run to the bank to be able to send out a 5-day notice.
Well, and we actually don't have to have a 5-day notice notarized, but we choose to because feels like it might have a little bit more oomph behind it.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. We throw a notary stamp on there.
Yeah.
Make it look better.
Makes it feel more official. Yep, I'm ordained. I am ordained. I can like legally marry people in like 16 states. 16 or 20, somewhere in there.
I don't know.
And so I do custom vows. But we did a Disney themed vows for Dustin's wedding, and that was fun because he proposed in front of Ariel's castle, and so I got to have fun, and every quote under the sea was in there.
She did an immaculate job. I will agree with that. I was so nervous for her.
He's like, "Are you not nervous?" I'm like, "No." Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a big person to sit here and speak in front of people. Like, that's just not my thing. But I think getting older and more businesses and networking and type of sales and stuff like that you have to do, it just... You just don't even care anymore. You're just like, whatever. If I make a fool of myself, at least I'm making a fool of myself and not of the couple.
Yeah.
And so, had to remind Dustin to breathe.
Was you choosing not to breathe,
Oh,
Dustin?
He was nervous. Not even so much nervous, but he wanted to get out from being in front of everybody. He didn't want to have to be up there.
I feel
he doesn't
there.
like people's attention.
I had to stand in front of 4 people when I got married. It was
3.
It was stressful. Oh,
3.
Was there 3? Okay.
Yeah, including our child. Our child was 3.
Well,
the third person.
The priest, including
No,
the
because
person
she was in
married
front
us.
of us.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, 3 plus the lady that married us.
I hate most people. I know.
So what are you up to tonight, Dustin Woolsey?
How is your job search going? Or are you going to start to try and have your own job?
Oh, gosh.
What set of skills do you have?
We will help you come up with ideas.
Yeah. We can help you market too. But I am trying to think of what else. What else do I do? Like, what other silly things do I have? Not fun because power was out, so some were closed. I understand that. Our power never went out, but a lot of people's around us did. Our internet went out and all sorts of stuff.
Our internet went out at like 9 o'clock last night, and I think it came back on at about 7, maybe 8, 9, 10 a.m. I think like 10 a.m. actually this morning.
I made the mistake of updating every app on my phone. There was 170 apps that need to be updated. Guys, I solely work from my phone, and Derek does a lot of the computer stuff, and I had 170 apps that needed to be updated. Like, that is bad. I think I have like 500 total. So like 2/5 of my phone needed to be updated. That's bad. The amount of apps that I have is bad. Like, I should not have that many apps on my phone, but I'm not a computer person, and Apple is user friendly for me. Really user friendly. We can. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we will go ahead and wrap this video up. We appreciate you watching, and if you're watching the replay, then make sure you comment.
Joining us.
Thank you for joining us, and please comment and let us know that you were here. And
if
what
you're
kind of
go ahead.
Go ahead.
If you're interested in any real estate talk, go swing by our website, theatypicalhustlers.com, and fill out for our email list, and so we can start shooting you some updates.
We can educate you. We
love to
definitely
network.
have the we have some knowledge in that genre of business, and so yeah, so definitely let us know, comment, let us know what your business is, and we can talk about different extra streams of revenue that we might be able to help you come up with or reason your way through, and we can all work together, because that's what life's about.
Yeah.
It's helping out a friend. Well, thank you very much, and we are the Atypical Hustlers, and we will see you later.
Bye.